Good evening, and welcome to Footnotes and Folly. I am Professor Reginald St. John Pemberton, and tonight we take up one of Shakespeare's strangest and least staged histories, the tangled, bitter reign of the life and death of King John. We give you the whole of it, complete and unabridged, in clear modern English. The plain rendering and the asides are my own. This is part 1. John of England sits a crown he half stole, and France comes to demand it for his young nephew Arthur, the boy with the better claim. Out of the quarrel steps the play's great original, the swaggering bastard, Philip Faulconbridge, who turns out to be the natural son of Richard the Lionheart and follows John to war for the sport of it. Before the shut gates of Angiers, 2 kings and 2 armies press their rival claims. A loyal town refuses them both, and the whole bloody dispute is smoothed over by a sudden royal wedding, leaving one woman, Arthur's mother, to scream that all of them are traitors. Let us begin.
King John enters with Queen Eleanor, Pembroke, Essex, Salisbury, others, and Chatillon. Now then, Chatillon, what does France want with us? After due greetings, the King of France speaks through me to the borrowed majesty of England here. A strange way to begin. Borrowed majesty. Be quiet, good mother. Hear the message. Philip of France, on the rightful and true behalf of Arthur Plantagenet, son of your dead brother Geoffrey, lays a most lawful claim to this fair island and its territories, to Ireland, Poitiers, Anjou, Touraine, and Maine. He asks you to lay down the sword by which you unlawfully hold these several titles, and to place them in young Arthur's hand, your nephew and rightful royal sovereign. What follows if we reject this? Proud compulsion of fierce and bloody war, to enforce these rights that are being held back by force. Then here we have war for war, blood for blood, command answered with command. Give France that answer. Then receive my king's defiance from my mouth. That is the furthest limit of my embassy. Carry mine back to him, and leave in peace. Be like lightning in the eyes of France, for before you can report my answer, I will be there, and the thunder of my cannon will be heard. Go then. Be the trumpet of our anger and the dark warning of your own ruin. Let him have honourable safe conduct. Pembroke, see to it. Farewell, Chatillon. Chatillon and Pembroke leave. What now, my son? Have I not always said that ambitious Constance would not stop until she had stirred up France and all the world to support her son's right and cause? This could have been prevented and settled with very easy arguments of love, but now the management of 2 kingdoms must settle it through a fearful, bloody outcome. Our strong possession and our right are on our side. Your strong possession much more than your right, or else things must go badly for you and me. So much my conscience whispers in your ear, though no one but heaven, you, and I shall hear it. A sheriff enters and whispers to Essex. My liege, the strangest dispute I ever heard of has come from the country to be judged by you. Shall I bring the men in? Let them come forward. The sheriff exits. Our abbeys and priories shall pay the cost of this expedition. Robert Faulconbridge and Philip, his bastard brother, enter. What men are you? I am your faithful subject, a gentleman born in Northamptonshire, and as I believe, the eldest son of Robert Faulconbridge, a soldier knighted in the field by the honour-giving hand of Coeur Lion. What are you? The son and heir of that same Faulconbridge. Is that one the elder, and are you the heir? It seems you did not have the same mother. We certainly had the same mother, mighty king. That is well known, and as I think, the same father. But for certain knowledge of that truth, I refer you to heaven and to my mother. I may doubt it, as any man's child may. Shame on you, rude man. You shame your mother and wound her honour with this mistrust. I, madam? No, I have no reason to do that. It is my brother's argument, not mine. If he can prove it, he pushes me out of at least a good £500 a year. Heaven protect my mother's honour and my land. A good plain-spoken fellow. Why, if he was born younger, does he claim your inheritance? I do not know why, unless it is to get the land. But once he slandered me as a bastard. Whether I was truly begotten or not, I leave that on my mother's head. But that I was as well begotten, my liege, may good fortune bless the bones that took the trouble for me. Compare our faces and judge for yourself. If old Sir Robert fathered us both, and was our father, and this son looks like him, then old Sir Robert, father, on my knee I thank heaven that I was not made like you. What a wild fellow heaven has led us here. He has something of Coeur Lion's face. The sound of his voice resembles him. Do you not see some signs of my son in the broad build of this man? My eye has examined his parts closely and finds them perfectly Richard. Fellow, speak. What moves you to claim your brother's land? Because he has a half-face like my father. With half that face he wants all my land, a half-faced groat worth £500 a year. My gracious liege, when my father was alive, your brother often employed my father. Well, sir, that will not get you my land. Your story must be about how he employed my mother. And once he sent him on an embassy to Germany, to treat with the emperor about important business of that time. The king took advantage of his absence and meanwhile stayed at my father's house. How he succeeded there I am ashamed to say, but truth is truth. Long stretches of sea and shore lay between my father and my mother, as I have heard my father himself say, when this same lusty gentleman was begotten. On his deathbed, he left his lands to me by will, and swore as he died that this son of my mother was none of his. and if he was, he came into the world a full 14 weeks too early. So, good my liege, let me have what is mine, my father's land, as my father willed it. Fellow, your brother is legitimate. Your father's wife bore him after marriage, and if she was unfaithful, the fault was hers, a risk that lies upon all husbands who marry wives. Tell me this, if my brother, who, as you say, took pains to father this son, had claimed him from your father as his own, truly, good friend, your father might have kept this calf bred from his cow against all the world. Truly he might. Then, if the child were my brother's, my brother could not claim him, nor could your father, though he was none of his, reject him. This settles it. My mother's son begot your father's heir. Your father's heir must have your father's land. Then shall my father's will have no power to dispossess a child who is not his? No more power to dispossess me, sir, than his will had to beget me, as I think. Which would you rather be, a Faulconbridge like your brother and enjoy your land, or the reputed son of Coeur de Lion, lord of your own bearing, with no land besides? Madam, if my brother had my shape and I had his, if Sir Robert's son looked like him, if my legs were two such riding rods, my arms such stuffed eels, skins, my face so thin that I would not dare stick a rose in my ear in case men said, Look, there goes a 3 farthing coin, and if with his shape I were heir to all this land, may I never move from this place if I would not give every foot of it to have this face. I would not be Sir Nob in any case. I like you well. Will you give up your fortune, leave your land to him, and follow me? I am a soldier, and now bound for France. Brother, take my land. I will take my chance. Your face has won £500 a year, yet sell your face for 5 pence, and it is dear. Madam, I will follow you to the death. No, I would have you go before me there. Our country manners, let our betters go first. What is your name? Philip, my liege. That is how my name begins. Philippe, eldest son of good old Sir Robert's wife. From now on, bear the name of the man whose form you bear. Kneel down, Philip, but rise greater. Arise, Sir Richard and Plantagenet. Brother by my mother's side, give me your hand. My father gave me honor, yours gave you land. Now blessed be the hour, by night or day, when I was begotten and Sir Robert was away. The very spirit of Plantagenet. I am your grandam, Richard, call me so. Madam, by chance, though not by truth, and what of that? Somewhat indirect, a little off the rightful path, and through the window or over the hatch. Whoever dares not move by day must walk by night, and having is having, however men catch what they get. Near or far off, oh well, one shot is still a good shot, and I am myself, however I was begotten. Go, Faulconbridge. Now you have what you wanted. A knight with no land has made you a squire with land. Come, madam, and come, Richard, we must hurry to France. To France, for it is more than necessary. Brother, farewell. Good fortune go with you, for you were begotten in the honest way. I'll leave except the bastard. I am a foot higher in honor than I was, but many, many feet worse off in land. Well, now I can make any Joan a lady. Good evening, Sir Richard. Many thanks, fellow. And if his name is George, I will call him Peter, because newly made honor forgets men's names. Being too respectful and sociable does not suit your transformation. Now for the traveller. He with his toothpick sits at my worshipful table, and when my nightly stomach has had enough, then I suck my teeth and question my carefully dressed man about foreign countries. My dear sir, I begin, leaning on my elbow, I must ask you, that is question speaking now. Then answer comes in like a child's alphabet book. Oh, sir, says answer, at your command, at your employment, at your service, sir. No, sir, says question, I, sweet sir, am at yours. And so, before answer knows what question wants, except in a dialogue of compliments, and after talk of the Alps and Apennines, the Pyrenean and the River Po, the matter finally draws on toward supper. But this is noble society, and it fits a rising spirit like mine. A man is only a bastard to the times if he does not have a taste for observation, and so am I, whether I have that taste or not. And not only in clothes and fashion, in outward form and outward equipment, but also from the inward impulse. I mean to deliver sweet poison for the tooth of this age. Though I will not practice it in order to deceive, I mean to learn it so I can avoid being deceived, for it will scatter itself along the path of my rise. But who is this coming so fast in riding clothes? What woman, messenger, is this? Has she no husband who will take the trouble to blow a horn before her? Lady Faulconbridge and James Gurney enter. Oh, it is my mother. What now, good lady? What brings you here to court in such haste? Where is that slave, your brother? Where is the man who chases my honor up and down? My brother Robert, old Sir Robert's son? Colbrand the giant, that mighty man? Is it Sir Robert's son you are looking for so eagerly? Sir Robert's son! Yes, you irreverent boy, Sir Robert's son. Why do you mock Sir Robert? He is Sir Robert's son, and so are you. James Gurney, will you leave us alone for a while? Willingly, good Philip. Philip? Sparrow. James, strange things are abroad. I will tell you more soon. Gurney exits. Madam, I was not old Sir Robert's son. Sir Robert might have eaten his share of me on Good Friday and never broken his fast. Sir Robert could do well, but to confess the truth, he could not beget me. Sir Robert could not do it. We know his handiwork. Therefore, good mother, to whom should I be grateful for these limbs? Sir Robert never helped make this leg. Have you conspired with your brother too, when for your own advantage you should be defending my honor? What does this scorn mean, you most unruly knave? Knight, knight, good mother, like Basilisco. What? I have been knighted, I carry it on my shoulder. But mother, I am not Sir Robert's son. I have renounced Sir Robert and my land, legitimacy, name, and everything are gone. Then, good mother, let me know my father. A proper man, I hope. Who was it, mother? Have you denied that you are a Faulconbridge? As faithfully as I deny the devil. King Richard Coeur de Lion was your father. By long and passionate pleading I was seduced into making room for him in my husband's bed. May heaven not charge my sin against me. You are the result of my dear offense, which was urged so strongly that it went beyond my power to resist. Now by this light, if I had to be begotten again, madam, I would not wish for a better father. Some sins carry their own privilege on earth, and yours does. Your fault was not foolishness. You had no choice but to place your heart at his command, paying tribute to commanding love. Against its fury and unmatched force, even the fearless lion could not fight, nor keep his princely heart from Richard's hand. He who can forcefully rob lions of their hearts can easily win a woman's. Yes, my mother, with all my heart I thank you for my father. Whoever lives and dares to say you did wrong when I was conceived, I will send his soul to hell. Come, lady, I will show you to my kin, and they will say that when Richard begot me, if you had refused him, that would have been the sin. Whoever says it was sin lies. I say it was not. They exit. The Archduke of Austria enters with his forces from one side. From the other side enter Philip, King of France, Louis, Constance, Arthur, and their forces before the walls of Angiers. We meet well before Angiers, brave Austria. Arthur, the great forerunner of your blood, Richard, who took the lion's heart and fought in the holy wars in Palestine, came early to his grave by this brave duke. And now, to make amends to Richard's descendants, he has come here at our urgent request to raise his colours, boy, on your behalf, and to rebuke the usurpation of your unnatural uncle, English John. Embrace him, love him, and welcome him here. God will be more ready to forgive you for Coeur de Lion's death, because you give life to his offspring, sheltering their rights under your wings of war. I welcome you with a powerless hand, but with a heart full of unstained love. Welcome before the gates of Angiers, Duke. A noble boy. Who would not do justice for you? I lay this devoted kiss upon your cheek as the seal on the contract of my love. I will not return home until Angiers, and the right you have in France, and also that pale, white-faced shore whose foot drives back the roaring ocean tides and shuts her islanders away from other lands, yes, until England itself, hedged in by the sea, that water-walled fortress, still secure and confident against foreign designs, until that farthest corner of the west greets you as her king. Until then, fair boy, I will not think of home, but follow war. Oh, take his mother's thanks, a widow's thanks, until your strong hand helps give him strength to repay your love more fully. The peace of heaven belongs to those who raise their swords in such a just and charitable war. Well then, to work. Our cannon shall be aimed against the brow of this resisting town. Call for our best military leaders, to choose the plans that give us the greatest advantage. We will lay our royal bones before this town and wade to the marketplace through Frenchmen's blood, but we will make it subject to this boy. Wait for an answer to your embassy, or else you may stain your swords with blood without counsel. My lord Chatillon may bring from England in peace the right that we press for here in war, and then we will regret every drop of blood that hot, rash haste has wrongfully shed. Chatillon enters. A wonder, lady. Look, at your wish, our messenger Chatillon has arrived. Tell us briefly what England says, gentle lord. We pause in cold restraint for you. Chatillon, speak. Then turn your forces away from this petty siege and stir them up for a mightier task. England, impatient of your just demands, has armed himself. Contrary winds, whose delay kept me waiting, gave him time to land all his legions as soon as I did. His march is moving quickly toward this town, his forces are strong, and his soldiers are confident. With him has come the mother queen, and 8 urging him on to blood and strife. With her is her niece, the Lady Blanche of Spain. With him comes a bastard of the dead king, and all the unsettled temper of the land. Rash, reckless, fiery volunteers, with ladies' faces and fierce dragons' tempers, have sold what they own at home and carry their birthrights proudly on their backs, to gamble for new fortunes here. In short, a braver choice of fearless spirits than the English ships have now carried over never floated on the swelling tide to do harm and damage in Christendom. Drums beat within. The interruption of their rude drums cuts off further detail. They are close at hand, either to parley or to fight, therefore prepare. How unexpected this expedition is. The more unexpected it is, the more we must wake our efforts for defense, because courage rises with occasion. Be welcome then, we are ready. King John, Eleanor, Blanche, the bastard, Pembroke, lords and forces enter. Peace be to France, if France peacefully allows our just, hereditary entrance into what is ours. If not, let France bleed, and let peace rise up to heaven while we, God's wrathful agent, correct the proud contempt that drives his peace up there. Peace be to England, if that war returns from France to England and lives there in peace. We love England, and for England's sake we sweat here under the burden of our armor. This labor of ours should be your work, but you are so far from loving England that you have undermined its lawful king, cut off the rightful line of inheritance, defied an infant's rank, and violated the maiden virtue of the crown. Look here upon your brother Geoffrey's face. These eyes, these brows, were molded from his. This little copy contains the greatness that died in Geoffrey, and the hand of time will draw this brief version into as large a volume. Geoffrey was born your elder brother, and this is his son. England was Geoffrey's right, and this is Geoffrey's right. In the name of God, how then are you called a king, while living blood beats in these temples that own the crown you have overmastered? From whom do you have this great commission, France, to force an answer from me to your charges? From the heavenly judge who stirs good thoughts in any breast with strong authority to examine the blots and stains on right. That judge has made me guardian to this boy. Under his warrant I accuse your wrong, and with his help I mean to punish it. Alas, you are usurping authority. It is justified when it beats usurpation down. Who is it you call a usurper, France? Let me answer, your usurping son. Away, insolent woman. Your bastard shall be king, so that you may be a queen and command the world. My marriage bed was always as true to your son as yours was to your husband, and this boy is more like his father Geoffrey in features than you and John are in manners. He is as like Geoffrey as rain is like water, or a devil like its dam. My boy a bastard. By my soul, I think his father was never so truly begotten. It could not be otherwise, even if you were his mother. There is a fine mother, boy, who stains your father. There is a fine grandmother, boy, who would stain you. Peace. Listen to the town crier. What the devil are you? One who will play the devil with you, sir, if he can catch you in your hide alone. You are the hare in the proverb, whose bravery plucks dead lions by the beard. I will smoke your skin, coat if I catch you properly. Sir, I'll look to it, truly I will, truly. Oh, that lion's robe was well worn by the man who stripped the lion of that robe. It sits as fittingly on his back as great Alcide's shoes would sit on an ass. Ass, I will take that burden from your back, or lay on blows that will make your shoulders crack. What loud fool is this who deafens our ears with so much useless breath? Louis, decide at once what we shall do. Women and fools, break off your argument. King John, this is the sum of everything. I claim from you England and Ireland, Anjou, Touraine, and Maine, and Arthur's right. Will you give them up and lay down your arms? As soon as I would give up my life. I defy you, France. Arthur of Brittany, surrender yourself to my hand, and out of my dear love I will give you more than the coward hand of France can ever win for you. Submit, boy. Come to your grandmother, child. Do, child, go to its grandmother, child. Give grandmother a kingdom, and grandmother will give it a plum, a cherry, and a fig. There is a good grandmother. Good mother, peace. I wish I were laid low in my grave. I am not worth all this turmoil made for me. His mother shames him so much, poor boy, that he weeps. Now shame on you, whether she does or not. His grandmother's wrongs, not his mother's shame, draw those moving pearls from his poor eyes, which heaven will take as a fee. Yes, with these crystal beads heaven will be bribed to do him justice and take revenge on you. You monstrous slanderer of heaven and earth! You monstrous wrongdoer against heaven and earth! Do not call me a slanderer. You and yours have seized the rule, the royal honors, and the rights of this oppressed boy. He is your eldest son's son, unlucky in nothing except in having you. Your sins are being punished in this poor child. The law's judgment has fallen on him, though he is only the second generation removed from the sinful womb that conceived your guilt. Madwoman, be quiet. I have only this to say. He is not only punished for her sin, but God has made her sin, and her herself, into the punishment laid on this distant descendant. He is plagued for her, and with the plague that is her. Her sin is his injury, and her injury is the officer that punishes her sin. Everything is punished in the person of this child, and all because of her. A plague on her! You reckless scold, I can produce a will that blocks your son's claim. Yes, who doubts it? A will, a wicked will, a woman's will, a bitter old grandmother's will. Peace, lady. Stop, or be more moderate. It does not suit this royal company to encourage these harsh, badly tuned repetitions. Let a trumpet summon the men of Angiers here to the walls. Let us hear them say whose claim they accept, Arthur's or John's. A trumpet sounds. Citizens, enter on the walls. Who has called us to the walls? It is France speaking for England. England speaks for itself. You men of Angiers, my loving subjects. You loving men of Angiers, Arthur's subjects, our trumpet has called you to this peaceful conference. For our advantage, so hear us first. These flags of France, raised here before the sight of your town, have marched here to harm you. Their cannons are loaded with wrath and ready to spit iron anger against your walls. Every preparation for a bloody siege and merciless assault by these Frenchmen stands before your city's eyes, before your closed gates. If we had not arrived, those sleeping stones that girdle you like a belt would, by the force of their artillery, already have been torn from their fixed beds of lime, and wide destruction would have opened a way for bloody power to rush upon your peace. But when they saw us, your lawful king, who with hard effort and urgent marching brought a counterforce before your gates to save your city's threatened face from so much as a scratch, look, the French amazed agree to talk. Now instead of bullets wrapped in fire that would shake your walls with fever, they fire only calm words wrapped in smoke, to plant a false error in your ears. Trust this as you should, kind citizens, and let us in. your king, whose weary spirits, worn out in this swift action, ask shelter within your city walls. When I have spoken, answer us both. Look, in this right hand, which has most sacredly vowed its protection to the right of the one it holds, stands young Plantagenet, son of this man's elder brother, and king over him, and over everything he possesses. For this trampled justice we have marched in war across these green fields before your town. We are no enemy to you except as the necessity of honorable zeal, in relieving this oppressed child, devoutly compels us. Therefore be pleased to pay the duty you truly owe to the one who owns that duty, namely this young prince. Then our army, like a muzzled bear, will have no power to harm except in its appearance. The malice of our cannons will be sped uselessly against the invulnerable clouds of heaven, and with a blessed and untroubled withdrawal, with swords unnotched and helmets undented, we will carry home again that lively blood which we came here to pour out against your town, and leave your children, your wives, and you in peace. But if you foolishly pass over the offer we make, the roundness of your old-faced walls cannot hide you from our messengers of war, even if all these English soldiers and their discipline were sheltered within their rough circumference. So tell us, shall your city call us lord in the cause for which we claim it, or shall we give the signal to our rage and stride through blood to take possession? In brief, we are the King of England's subjects. For him and in his right we hold this town. Then acknowledge the king, and let me in. We cannot do that. The man who proves himself the king, to him we will prove loyal. Until that time, we have barred our gates against the world. Does the crown of England not prove the king? And if that does not, I bring you witnesses, twice 15,000 English bred hearts, bastards and others, to prove our title with their lives. As many men, and of as well born blood as those, some bastards too, stand before him to contradict his claim. Until you settle whose right is worthiest, we will keep the right from both of you, for the one who proves worthiest. Then may God forgive the sin of all those souls who, before evening dew falls, will fly to their eternal home in this dreadful trial over who is king of our kingdom. Amen, amen. Mount knights, to arms. St. George, who whipped the dragon and ever since sits on horseback at my hostess's door, teach us some swordplay. Sir, if I were at home with you at your den, sir, with your lioness, I would fasten an ox head to your lion's hide and make a monster of you. Peace. No more. Oh, tremble, for you hear the lion roar. Move higher up onto the plain. There we will set out all our regiments in their best order. Then hurry to take advantage of the field. It shall be so. At the other hill, command the rest to stand. God in our right. They leave separately. After fighting and movements of battle, a herald of France enters with trumpets before the gates. You men of Angiers, open your gates wide and let young Arthur, Duke of Brittany, in. By the hand of France, he has today made much work for tears in many an English mother, whose sons lie scattered on the bleeding ground. Many a widow's husband lies grovelling, coldly embracing the discolored earth. Victory, with little loss, plays on the dancing banners of the French, who are close at hand, displayed in triumph to enter as conquerors and proclaim Arthur of Brittany England's king and yours. An English herald enters with a trumpet. Rejoice, you men of Angiers, ring your bells. King John, your king and England's, approaches as commander of this fierce and hateful day. The armor that marched away from here so silver bright returns gilded with Frenchmen's blood. No plume that was fixed in any English crest has been knocked away by a French staff. Our colors return in the same hands that displayed them when we first marched out. Like a cheerful troop of huntsmen, our vigorous English come with purpled hands, dyed in the slaughter of their dying enemies. Open your gates and make way for the victors. Heralds from our towers, we could see from first to last the attack and withdrawal of both your armies. With our best judgment, we cannot decide between them. Blood has paid for blood, and blows have answered blows. Strength matched strength, and power confronted power. Both are alike, and we like both alike. One must prove the greater. While they weigh so evenly, we hold our town for neither, and yet for both. On one side enter King John, Eleanor, Blanche, the bastard, and forces. On the other side enter King Philippe, Louis, Austria, and forces. France, do you still have more blood to throw away? Say whether the current of our right shall keep running on. Its passage, troubled by your obstruction, will leave its natural channel, and with its course disturbed, overflow even your neighboring shores, unless you let its silver water move peacefully toward the ocean. England, you have not saved one drop of blood in this hot trial more than we of France have saved. Rather, you have lost more. And by this hand I swear, the hand that rules the earth this region lies beneath, that before we lay down our justly carried arms, we will bring you down, you against whom these arms are raised, or we will add royal names to the dead, honoring the record that tells this war's losses with slaughter joined to the names of kings. Ah, Majesty, how high your glory rises when the rich blood of kings is heated. Now death lines his dead jaws with steel, soldiers' swords are his teeth and fangs. Now he feasts, tearing at men's flesh while kings leave their quarrels undecided. Why do these royal faces stand here amazed? Cry havoc, kings! Back to the blood-stained field, you equal powers, you spirits fired with rage. Let the ruin of one side secure the peace of the other. Until then, blows, blood, and death! Whose side have the townsmen admitted yet? Speak, citizens for England. Who is your king? The King of England, when we know who the king is. Know him in us who uphold his right here. Know him in us, who are our own great representative, who carry our own person here in possession, lord of our presence, of Angiers and of you. A greater power than ours denies all this. Until the matter is beyond doubt, we lock our former uncertainty inside our strong, barred gates. We are ruled by fear until our fears are settled, purged, and removed by some certain king. By heaven, these scoundrels of Angiers are mocking you, kings. They stand safe on their battlements as if in a theatre, staring and pointing at your hard-working scenes and acts of death. Let your royal presences be guided by me. Do as the rebels of Jerusalem did, be friends for a while, and together turn your sharpest acts of malice against this town. Let France and England, from east and west, bring up their battering cannons, loaded to the mouths, until their soul, frightening noise has battered down the stony ribs of this contemptuous city. I would fire without stopping on these worthless people until unprotected desolation leaves them as bare as the common air. When that is done, divide your united forces, separate your mingled banners again, turn face to face and bloody point to point. Then, in a moment, fortune will choose her favorite from one side, give him the day, and kiss him with a glorious victory. How do you like this wild advice, mighty states? Does it not taste a little like policy? Now, by the sky that hangs above our heads, I like it well. France, shall we join our powers and level this Angiers with the ground, and afterward fight over who shall be its king? And if you have the spirit of a king, being wronged as we are by this stubborn town, turn the mouth of your artillery against these insolent walls, as we will turn ours. And when we have smashed them to the ground, then defy each other, and in the general clash make work upon ourselves, for heaven or hell. Let it be so. Say, where will you attack? From the west we will send destruction into the city's heart. I from the north. Our thunder from the south shall rain its load of bullets on this town. O wise discipline! From north to south, Austria and France will shoot into each other's mouths. I will spur them on to it. Come away, away. Hear us, great kings. Be pleased to wait a while, and I will show you peace and a fair, faced alliance. Win this city without blow or wound. Save these living men, who came here as sacrifices for the field, so they may die in their beds. Do not persist, but hear me, mighty kings. Speak freely. We are inclined to listen. That daughter of Spain there, the Lady Blanche, is England's niece. Look at the years of Louis the Dauphin and that lovely maid. If vigorous love went in search of beauty, where would he find it fairer than in Blanche? If devoted love went in search of virtue, where would he find it purer than in Blanche? If ambitious love sought a match of noble birth, whose veins carry richer blood than Lady Blanche, as she is complete in beauty, virtue, and birth, so the young Dauphin is complete in every way. If he is not complete, say only that he is not she, and she, in turn, lacks nothing worth naming as a lack, unless the lack is that she is not he. He is half of a blessed man, left to be finished by such a woman, and she is a fair divided excellence whose full perfection lies in him. Oh, two such silver streams, when they join, glorify the banks that hold them. And you kings shall be two such shores, two such guiding bounds to these two princes, if you marry them. This union will do more than cannon can against our fast-closed gates. At this match, with faster force than gunpowder can drive, we will throw the passage wide open and give you in trance. But without this match, the enraged sea is not half so deaf, lions not more confident, mountains and rocks not more fixed, no, not death himself in mortal fury half so absolute as we will be in keeping this city. Here is a barrier that shakes the rotten body of old Death out of his rags. Here is a great mouth indeed, spitting out death, mountains, rocks, and seas, talking as familiarly of roaring lions as 13-year-old girls talk of puppies. What cannoneer fathered this bold blood? He speaks pure cannon, fire, smoke, and bang. He beats us with his tongue. Our ears are clubbed. Not one word of his but strikes harder than a French fist. Zounds! I was never so battered with words since I first called my brother's father Dad. Son, listen to this union. Make this match. Give a large enough dowry with our niece, for by this knot you will tie your present uncertain claim to the crown so firmly that that green boy over there will have no son to ripen the blossom that promises such mighty fruit. I see France beginning to yield in their looks. Notice how they whisper. Press them while their minds are open to this ambition, before zeal, now softened by the airy breath of gentle petitions, pity, and remorse, cools and hardens again into what it was. Why do the two majesties not answer this friendly treaty from our threatened town? Let England speak first, since England was first to speak to this city. What do you say? If the Dauphin there, your princely son, can rid I love in this book of beauty, her dowry shall weigh as much as a queen's. Anjou, fair Touraine, Maine, Poitiers, and everything on this side of the sea that we find subject to our crown and dignity, except the city now besieged by us, shall gild her bridal bed and make her rich in titles, honors, and advancement, just as in beauty, education, and blood she stands equal with any princess in the world. What do you say, boy? Look into the lady's face. I do, my lord, and in her eye I find a wonder, or a wondrous miracle, the image of myself formed in her eye. And though it is only the image of your son, it becomes a sun, and makes your son a shadow. I swear I never loved myself until now, when I saw myself fixed there, drawn in the flattering surface of her eye. Louise whispers with Blanche, drawn in the flattering surface of her eye, hanged in the frowning wrinkle of her brow and quartered in her heart. He discovers himself to be love's traitor. It is a pity now that hanged, drawn, and quartered, such a low fool as he should be in such a love. My uncle's will in this matter is mine. If he sees anything in you that makes him approve, whatever he sees that moves his approval, I can easily translate into my own will, or to speak more properly, I will easily force it into my love. I will not flatter you any further, my lord, by saying that everything I see in you deserves love, except this: I see nothing in you, even if harsh thoughts themselves were your judges, that I can find worthy of any hate. What do these young ones say? What do you say, my niece? That she is bound in honor always to do what you in wisdom are pleased to say. Then speak, Prince Dauphin. Can you love this lady? No, ask me whether I can keep from loving her, for I do love her most sincerely. Then I give Volquesson, Touraine, Maine, Poitiers, and Anjou, these 5 provinces, with her to you, and added to that, a full 30,000 marks in English money. Philip of France, if this pleases you, command your son and daughter to join hands. It pleases us well. Young princes, clasp your hands together. And your lips too, for I am very sure I did the same when I was first betrothed. Now, citizens of Angiers, open your gates. Let in the friendship you have made, for at St. Mary's Chapel the marriage rites shall be performed at once. Is the Lady Constance among this company? I know she is not, because this agreement, now settled, would have been greatly interrupted by her presence. Where are she and her son? Tell me, who knows? She is sorrowful and deeply upset at your highness's tent. And by my faith, this alliance we have made will do very little to cure her sorrow. Brother of England, how can we satisfy this widowed lady? We came here to defend her right, which, God knows, we have turned another way for our own advantage. We will make everything right. We will create young Arthur, Duke of Brittany and Earl of Richmond, and we will make him lord of this rich, fair town. Call the Lady Constance. Send some quick messenger to ask her to come to our ceremony. I trust that, if we cannot give her everything she wants, we shall at least satisfy her enough in some measure to stop her outcry. Let us go as fast as we can manage to this unexpected, unprepared celebration. I'll leave except the bastard. The citizens withdraw from the walls. Mad world. Mad kings. Mad settlement. John, to block Arthur's claim to the whole, has willingly given away a part. And France, whose conscience buckled on his armor, whom zeal and charity brought into the field as God's own soldier, has been whispered to buy that purpose-changing thing, that sly devil, that broker who keeps breaking the head of faith, that daily oath-breaker, the thing that wins everyone. Kings, beggars, old men, young men, and maidens. A maiden, having nothing outward to lose except the word maid, is cheated even of that by the smooth-faced gentleman, tempting profit. Profit, the bias of the world. The world by itself is well balanced, made to run straight on level ground, until this advantage, this vile, pulling bias, this sway in its motion, this profit, makes it veer away from all fairness, from every direction, purpose, course, and intention. And this same bias, this profit, this pimp, this broker, this all-changing word, laid before the outward eye of fickle France, has drawn him away from his own determined aid, away from a resolved and honorable war, into a most base and vilely concluded peace. And why do I rail against this profit? Only because it has not courted me yet. It is not that I would have the strength to close my hand if its fair gold coins came greeting my palm, but because my hand has not yet been tempted, it rails at the rich like a poor beggar. Well, while I am a beggar, I will rail and say there is no sin except being rich. And when I am rich, my virtue will be to say there is no vice except beggary. Since kings break faith for profit, gain, be my lord, for I will worship you. He exits.
And there we pause, on a peace that is no peace. The kings of England and France have buried their war in a marriage, the Dauphin Louis to John's niece Blanche, and carved up provinces between them, while young Arthur's claim is quietly sold off, and his mother Constance is left raging at the betrayal of her fatherless boy. The bastard looks on and names the thing for what it is: commodity, self-interest, the bias of the world. But the ink is barely dry. Next time, in part 2, a cardinal from Rome with a curse in his mouth, a battle renewed, a boy taken prisoner, and a king who whispers murder. Mind the footnotes, and beware the folly.